Shalom. Before I get started, call Allah, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles, bishops at the great millstone who do rule and teach well. Peace, blessings, salutations to the sincere brothers pushing this truth to the four corners of the earth in all diligence, righteousness, and sincerity. To the few sincere sisters, the Akwath, listening and learning in silence. To you I say Shalom. So it's your brother Azariah, back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Just touching on a few things that's pertinent in the news right now, and just more signs that every day that goes by, we draw closer to our salvation, the end of this wicked kingdom that is headed by the so-called white man, whose biblical nationality is that of Esau, Edom, the Edomites. Okay, so we're rapidly coming towards the end of this age, and it's manifest through the signs, through what's happening in the planet Earth. See, people that are not in the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, they're perplexed right now as to why all these things are happening. Why is there war? Why are there so many diseases? Why are all these earthquakes going off? Why is murder at an all-time high? Why is America crumbling? Surely the powers that be should have learned from past civilizations to mitigate the issues of a collapsing empire. But see, what these people don't understand is that every kingdom that ever ruled on the earth was set up by the Heavenly Father, and they also came to an end when the Heavenly Father set the certain bounds for that kingdom that they couldn't pass. You see, so there's a start and there's an end to an empire, man. And what we're witnessing now is the end of this current age. You see, the end of the world as we know it. Now, the earth is not going to be destroyed because the scriptures say that the earth abides forever. But there's going to be a change in rulership. There's going to be a changing of the guard, if you will, all right, from wickedness over to the righteous. And in the new kingdom, it's going to be the Israelites, headed by who the world called Jesus Christ, all right. His Hebrew name is Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach, all right. So I just want to touch on, want to play this TikTok video real quick, because this is what they're discussing. And this is from the WHO, the World Health Organization. All right. The chief says the world must fight disease X. Now, they've been talking about this disease X for a minute, really since the first time I heard it was like late 2022. But now Bill Gates, or Kill Gates, should I say, they're estimating, which, mind you, they named this disease X, because at one point it was unknown. They just threw this thing out there like, hey guys, you guys need to be aware that there's a disease coming that's going to be very fatal. It's going to delete a lot of people. We don't know what it is, but we can tell you that it's coming. Okay, this was coming from the World Economic Forum. This was coming from the World Health Organization. Kill Gates, you see. So through the spirit, we see that a lot of death and destruction is about to come to pass in the year of 2024. And once again, it's not a coincidence. It's not just a happenstance that these things are coming about. No, this is all the will ultimately of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. But he's going to use wicked people upon the earth to carry out his will. All right, the Lord can put a spirit on anybody or anything to perform his will. So we see that these wicked leaders, they're set up in their lot to bring forth destruction on the planet Earth. So just wanted to give that quick synopsis. I won't ramble on no more. Let's check out this video and we're going to get right back to it.
This is about a common enemy. And without a shared response, starting from the preparedness, we will face the same problem as COVID. And deadline for the pandemic agreement is May 2024. It's a matter of when, not if. So we need to have a placeholder for that, for the disease we don't know that may come. And that was when we gave the name Disease X. This is about a common enemy.
So you see, this thing is very serious, and the people here at the World Health Organization, they taking it seriously, because they you see, and he says something that's key. He said it's not a matter of if, but when. So they can tell you for sure that this disease X is going to do what it's going to do, but they just can't tell you when it's going to happen. See, that's the whole mystery about it. They can't tell you when it's going to happen, but they can tell you it is going to happen. So this is like a, like how they release the movies and they show you like Leave the World Behind. They got one coming out by the name of Civil War. World War Z, and what I'm saying, they put these things in the movies as a predictive programming to show you. They also got movies about the zombie apocalypse and all that. Although these things are to a degree based in fiction, a lot of it is also based in reality. Of course they what's the word? They embellish, they'll sell the movie and make it more dramatic, for cinema's sake, but at the same time there's a lot of truth in that, in what they bring out in these films. But yeah, you heard it from this guy at the WHO. It's not a matter of if, but when. Now we know that Yahweh Shah told us in the book of Matthew, the 24th chapter, around the 7th and 8th verse, that in the last days what? Pestilence shall come. Okay, so the Lord told us that disease would feature prominently in the last days, that this would be one of the major signs of the Lord's coming. Now, how would these diseases be brought to the forefront? Of course, the Lord is, going to put spirits on certain people to manufacture and create certain things to ultimately fulfill the Lord's will. All right, because these people, they're not in the lab just messing around with stuff just to be messing around. No, see, the Lord put a spirit on these people. Okay, so that leads here. All right, Chinese scientists have been warned against messing with a CV strain that will lead to a 100% deletion rate. Okay, so they in the lab messing around with these things, man. Okay, and it was like early last year, a report came out that scientists, they was messing around with like a allegedly 5,000-year-old virus, zombie virus or something like that. Now, a person would have to inquire, why would, scientists understanding the danger of these things, why would they be in a laboratory genetically modifying, increasing the effectiveness of said disease? For what purpose? For what purpose are you doing these things? Well, ultimately, this is to fulfill the purpose of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, because these devils, we know they have a depopulation agenda, but Yahweh Bashem Yahushua also has a depopulation agenda. Okay, this is why, 2/3 of Israelites are going to be cut off. Okay, and then many casualties of the other nations as well. Okay, a lot of it is going to be through the sword, war and death and things like that, and a lot of it is also going to be from pestilence. A lot of it is also going to be from famine, hunger. Okay, so the Lord has various ways to take out the wicked, but ultimately this is all to fulfill His will. So we'll get a little bit of this from the peoplesvoice.tv. Chinese researchers have been warned to stop experimenting with a new CV19 strain that has a 100% kill rate in humanized mice. Now that in and of itself is madness. Okay, so if you don't know what humanized mice is, it's basically mice that have been given human genetics. Okay, mice that have human DNA, and they do this to study the effectiveness of certain diseases. Pretty much they test the mice. Okay, because mice are beasts. It's two different flesh, so the disease would affect them differently from how they would with a human. So what they do is they inject the mice, or they genetically alter the DNA sequence of the mice to include human DNA, so that when these diseases are presented to the mice, they can see more accurately how the disease would affect the mice, or the human DNA in the mice, so they can know how it would affect human beings. Okay, this is, again, this is the wicked, man. Okay, these are people that ultimately they have no conscience. See, because they don't really understand what they're doing. They're just carrying out orders. Okay, but this is gonna lead to mass death. And why do you think Mark Zuckerberg and what's his name, Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates, why you think they're going into the bunkers now? Why you think they got bunkers all over the place and they retreating to these? Because they know that this stuff is about to blow up. See, but these peon Americans, okay, these peon, as the elites call goyim of the world, they're focused on a career. They're focused on living their best life, traveling, eating good, drinking good, partying. Meanwhile, this is what's going on. Okay, the people have no idea. Continuing on with the article, scientists based in Beijing who are linked to the Chinese military. So if this don't show you that we're at war, I don't know what will. Okay, these things are being carried out by the Chinese military. And mind you, Bill Gates, right? He's been very outspoken about this so-called disease X. Okay, which this is what it is here. And another thing to keep in mind, all these nations are in cahoots. What do you think happened with the CV-19? They were saying, oh, it came from China and this, that, the third. Well, that may very well have been the case, but somehow it got to America. They imposed lockdowns in China. They imposed lockdowns in America. It was the same procedure being done worldwide. So again, all these nations want the same thing. On the world stage, that there's a theater of war. China is doing this, and U.S. and Taiwan and all this. Listen, man, we understand ultimately that the Lord said these things would come, but these nations, mind you, they're all confederate together. Okay, so certain things, they're going to operate on the same page, and others, they might disagree. There's division in the house of the wicked. Okay, so you're pretty much seeing things being carried out from all angles. Continuing, cloned a CV-like virus found in pangolins and used it to infect mice that had been engineered to reflect similar genetic makeup as humans. So this virus, okay, is known as GXP2V. Researchers noted a surprisingly rapid death rate after all the mice infected died within just 8 days. In the days before their deaths, the mice had quickly lost weight, exhibited a hunched posture, and moved extremely sluggish. Most eerie of all, their eyes turned completely white the day before they died. God damn. So again, why would they need to test such a disease on humanized mice if they were not preparing to release this said disease upon humanity? I think that's a very logical question to ask. Otherwise, You would have just tested this thing on regular mice, but no, you use humanized mice. See, you use mice with human genetics. So that right there tells you all that you need to know. You see? Let me get a scripture, because I did quote Matthew 24:7-8. Okay. Let me get 2nd Ezra 16:18. It says here, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. Okay, and they're saying that this here disease X, is going to have 100% deletion rate. Okay, so that's going to be great death, okay, upon the planet Earth. The beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague. Okay, and this disease, this is part of that plague. All right, whether it's manufactured or organic, which we know that it's manufactured, but nonetheless, okay, this is a part of the plagues that will come in the last days. And the Lord is preparing to delete many people from off this earth. Okay, and we'll get the reason why in a minute. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. So these things are being sent upon the earth to judge people, to correct people's wickedness. But what? But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. And it says in Revelation, I believe it's Revelation 18, where it talks about for all the plagues that were coming upon the earth, that, you know, men did not repent, but actually increased in their wickedness, you know, just roughly paraphrasing, you know. So this is echoing that, man. And these are times that we in, for all these things that's going on, you know, people not paying attention, that, you know, they just gung-ho for all type of wickedness, you know what I'm saying? And this is why these things are going to take people unknowingly. See, they're going to wake up one day, the power going to be out, it's going to be a blackout. Next thing you know, it's going to be, you know, everybody, you're going to see everybody getting sick and just dropping. And you ain't going to know what the hell going on. You ain't going to have no protection because the Lord ain't dealing with you. See, the times we coming into, hey, 1 Timothy 5:3, perilous times, okay? This is the time that we in. And check this out. Verse 22, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Okay, with these wars, these you know, nation wars and civil wars that are going to take place, right? Verse 23, and the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. So you hear what the scriptures are saying? It's basically saying that it's going to be so many people that's going to be getting deleted, that the dead shall be cast out as dung. Now, when you sit on the toilet and you cast your dung into the water, do you look back and do you pity that you know, piece of feces that's laying in the water? No, man. You don't even look back at it. You know, you just flush the toilet, wipe your behind, and you know, wash your hands and go on about your business. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be like that. People not gonna care in that time. It's gonna be so much death going on. It's gonna be to the point, you know, people gonna get desensitized to it. You know, these are times that we coming into. You see, so hey, the words of Yahweh Basham Yahushua do not go out void, man. All these things is gonna happen, and the Lord has set up His prophets in these last days, okay, to warn you of these things before they come. All right, this is the reason why, you know, the Spirit has been put on men to proclaim these things in the last days and to give the understanding, to make these things plain upon tables, so that the elect may understand. Okay. And the death, in fact, is going to get so bad. Verse 27, so that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice. 28, for of a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field, which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of the rocks. You see? So look, man, if you ever seen the movie I Am Legend, where Will Smith, he was pretty much like the last man in that city, to the point where he was bugged out. You know, dude was, you know, he started talking to mannequins and all type of stuff, and it was so profound to the point that when he did meet another human being, the woman and her son, he ain't even know how to interact because it had been so long. But guess what? It's gonna be like that. Okay. In a whole city. Now, how many people are there in a city? Hundreds of thousands, right? Millions. If you're talking about the, you know, big cities, LA, New York, Miami, you know what I'm saying? Millions of people. But the scriptures say it's going to be 10 left in one city. That's how much death that it's going to be. All right? That's how much death it's going to be, man. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? Let's continue on with this. Most eerie, yeah, okay, Salakia. But experts have warned against a recklessly conducted study. Francois Balou, an epidemiology expert at the University College London's Genetics Institute, warned the research is terrible and scientifically totally pointless. Well, that's what he says. But to the people performing this research, it's not pointless to them because this is a means to an end. And what is that end? Bill Gates said that this disease X is going to knock off billions. Okay, he ain't say a couple thousand. He ain't say tens of thousands. He ain't say 100,000. He said not even millions. He said billions. But he's saying that it's scientifically totally pointless because why are you performing this type of research? To what end are you doing these things? Well, the end is there's an agenda that is at work, and the powers that be, in order for them to accomplish their agenda, they must severely depopulate the planet. Okay, so in order to reach that goal, they must create and manufacture pestilences that will more surely than not knock people off. Okay, it ain't gonna be like the, you know, CV where they was saying, oh, it's 40% or 90-something% survival rate. You know, nah, they saying, hey, if you get infected with this that they bringing, you pretty much guaranteed to croak. You see, you pretty much guaranteed to get put 6 feet, man. That's what they saying. But even the scientists, they warning against it. They like, listen, we shouldn't continue doing this work because this is very dangerous. Well, you see, they want danger. You know, they want all hell to break loose. He wrote on X, I can see nothing of vague interest that could be learned from force infecting a weird breed of humanized mice with a random virus. Conversely, I could see how such stuff might go wrong. And if you can see how these things might go wrong, more than likely it will. Okay, let me go to matter of fact, I can probably hold that for now. But you know what? I'll go ahead and get Proverbs 4:14. It says, enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men. Okay, these people performing this research, okay, these are evil men. Verse 15, avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it and pass away. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away, unless they cause some to fall. 17, for they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the violence. Salakia, and drink the wine of violence. You see? So wickedness to them is like a regular person eating bread and drinking wine. It's normal to them. This is what they do. Just like how a person will sit down and eat dinner for the day and feel nice, feel content and go on like it ain't nothing. That's how they treat doing wickedness. Okay, it's the same thing to them. Okay, their bread is wickedness and their wine is violence. This is what sustains them. This is what makes them feel content. This is why they can't stop, because why? It's a spirit that's on them. The Lord put His spirit on these people to be doing what they doing. So when you see things, marvel not that these things would come. See, Yahweh Shah told us everything that we need to look forward to in these last days, and this is part of it. Moving on, famine in Gaza. Okay, which there's about to be famines all over the earth. You see what's going on in that Red Sea region. A lot of them ships is being held up by the Houthis, and what I'm saying, certain very viable trade routes are being cut off worldwide quietly. Okay, because this is another thing that the powers that be want. They want there to be a global famine. Okay, because that too contributes to the Depop agenda. Okay, so as famine looms in Gaza, aid delivery remains difficult and dangerous. Okay, meanwhile, while them people getting bombed to smithereens, okay, they can't get no food, they can't get no water, the electricity is cut out, so they over there going through hell. All right. Describing the humanitarian situation in the Gaza Strip is in increasingly apocalyptic terms. Aid agencies are urging Israel to ease the difficult and often dangerous process of delivering supplies to desperate Palestinians. Israel has embarked on a public campaign to defend its humanitarian record, blaming the United Nations and Hamas for the crisis. Famine is looming in Gaza, the United Nations warns. The World Food Program estimates that 93% of the population faces crisis levels of hunger. And do they care? No. They don't care. See, they should have intervened in this thing a long time ago, but the bloodshed and slaughter continues. Disease is spreading rapidly. The World Health Organization predicts that the death toll from sickness and starvation in coming months could eclipse the number of people killed in the war so far. More than 24,000, according to the latest count from the Gaza Health Ministry, with the majority women and children. Okay, so them people over there catching pure hell, Let's get a little bit more. Large swaths of Gaza remain off limits to aid workers. Frequent telecommunication blackouts complicate their work, and the war still rages. The humanitarian situation in Gaza is beyond words. Nowhere and no one is safe. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres told reporters Monday, yeah, they over there blowing up hospitals, killing women and children indiscriminately. There's absolutely zero regard for life, what's going on in Gaza. But again, this is judgment on these nations, man. Okay, the Lord gonna have these nations destroy each other because they all came together confederate against us to take us down. And when we was getting, when Jake was going through hell, none of these nations, rose up and said, nah, that ain't right. We need to go free them people. You know what I'm saying? We need to go give them people aid. Nah, we was pretty much on our own. Because ultimately, yeah, we understand that the Lord, our power put us in that situation because we were disobedient. But these other nations stood by and actually were happy and rejoiced at our downfall, man. So, hey, the scriptures say that whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So all these nations came together confederate to take us down. Well, guess what? Now the Lord is going to take them down, using, putting them one against another. You see? So, to hell with them Palestinians, man. To hell with them small hats that's in the land. To hell with all these nations, man. Because, they don't give a damn about Jake, So moving on here. Another volcano erupted in Iceland. I believe this was the same one that went off a couple months ago. Let's check this out real quick.
Tonight, the residents of this fishing town in Iceland on high alert after a volcanic eruption in the southwest part of the country threatened to engulf the village. A Officials in the town of Grindavik evacuating around 4,000 residents over the weekend as rivers of lava encroached onto the village and began setting homes ablaze. The volcano erupting just 30 miles from the capital Reykjavik and just 4 miles from the Blue Lagoon, a popular tourist destination. So far, no injuries reported, but some evacuated residents still losing everything. This man was nearly finished building his new home, saying, "I had intended to move into the house before Christmas, the same house I watched burn down on live TV." Feeling helpless as they watch the destruction unfold from afar.
I'm born in this town. I actually live in the house that I'm born in. And it's a tough thought to think that this town might be over. And I would have to start all over somewhere else. But if that's the case, then that's exactly what we'll do.
But as this round of eruptions ease, officials warn of more dangers to come.
What is certain is that we will have more periods of activity on the peninsula, and the whole area is sort of in a stage of great uncertainty.
It's the second eruption on the Reykjanes Peninsula in just 4 weeks, and the fifth since 2021, as traumatic events like these threaten to become Iceland's new normal. And as we mentioned, this eruption, it's just a short distance away from that popular tourist destination, the Blue Lagoon. Now, the Blue Lagoon was closed after last month's eruption. It reopened again just a few days ago, and now it's once again closed. And it just goes to show the kind of impact that this seismic activity is going to have on Iceland's very lucrative tourism industry.
And that reminds me of a scripture in 1 Thessalonians where it say, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction. You see, so this just goes to show you, although things might seem good right now, you might still be able to go to the store. You still can have your leisure time and, be in folly or whatever, right? Things can change just like that overnight. Like you could wake up tomorrow and hear that, some, T group attack happening in California, or there's been a bombing, big bombing that deleted thousands that happened in Texas or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, anything can happen any given day. We just don't know. This is why we've been commanded to keep watch and to warn our people, the house of Israel, to give them warning from Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. To always be circumspect and be watching the world events that's going on within the earth, man, because through these things we can gauge how close that we are to the end, and also that we need to get our act together. You know what I'm saying? That we need to tighten up, because time is short. But yeah, it also says in 2nd Esdras 8:50 that many great miseries shall befall those that dwell in the latter time, because they have walked in great pride. Okay, this is part of those great miseries, man. All right, the beginning of sorrow. These people catching pure hell. And really, things ain't even that bad yet. These people ain't seen nothing yet. This is only the beginning. But since 2024 started, since January 1st up until now, the 17th, the news, prophecy is going crazy right now. Like the Lord really speeding up these days. And you can tell, we only 17 days into the new year, and look at all what's been happening. You see, every day is multiple headlines coming out. You know what I'm saying? Breaking news, like pretty much every day. Like we're living in a very historic and unprecedented time. And this is how we know through the Spirit that Yahweh Shai and the host of heaven, that they about to make a grand appearance real soon. Okay? So-called UFOs or UAPs, which are the chariots of the Lord, those sightings are increasing all over, so, hey, we already know what time it is, man. I'll get this last article and we can close out. Deadly fire ants are forming rafts to cross Australian flood waters. So they, what I'm saying? The Lord put the spirit on these ants to form rafts to cross these Australian flood waters, man. So they just itching. And really, what is this? This is a spirit. These are spirits created for vengeance, man. All right. Sirach 39, In 28, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, and in their fury lay on sword strokes. And a fire ants, I don't know if any of you brothers and sisters have ever experienced a fire ant, but I have. When they bite you, it feel like it's a fire under your skin, man. So imagine hundreds of these things just swarming you and just biting you up. That's pure hell. But you see, the spirit's created for vengeance, man. See, the Lord is using nature. All right, the Lord is using his creation to bring pain upon these people, and again, they haven't seen nothing yet. Red fire ants are forming rafts to travel on flood waters in the northeastern Australian state of Queensland, with the extreme weather threatening a countrywide spread of the highly invasive species. And a couple years ago, wasn't it Australia that had a invasion of snakes? you know, it was deadly snakes that was out there, like in the millions. You know what I'm saying? I remember that years ago, man. But look, the Lord been jacking up Australia, especially heavy. You know what I'm saying? Over these years, man. Because we already know what went on in Australia. You know, the genocide of the so-called Aboriginal people. You know, all the wickedness that they still doing over there to this day. You see, now the Lord is bringing that recompense for these people wickedness, man. And they wonder why. The recent heavy rainfall and wild weather in the region could accelerate the spread of fire ants, one of the world's most invasive species. Fire ants are more active before or after rainfall and can form large floating rafts, which move with water currents to establish footholds in new areas. Pianta said, urging residents to be on the lookout. The ISC shared a video on social media of the fire ants traveling in raft formation. Let's see this real quick. Okay. 2 rafts of fire ants seen floating in the water. Where the ants at? But yeah, this is what's going on. But the point has been made. But yeah, these are plays from Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Let's go to 2nd Ezra 15. 2nd Ezra 15:5. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. So these plagues, these people are being plagued and judged because why? Their wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the earth. They've grown proud. 2nd Ezra 8:50. Okay, great miseries are coming upon these people because ultimately they have done this wickedness for the longest time. There's no fear of the Lord within the earth outside of the hopeful elect, right? So these people think that they could do all this evil and just get away with it, and that they nothing will happen to them. See, but now they're finding out that there is a power in the heavens and in the earth, okay, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and his judgment reigns supreme. Okay, so nobody gets away, man. It don't matter how much money you got. It don't matter how many guns and ammo that you got, how much food you got. Guess what, man? Nobody escapes the judgment of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And I believe that's a scripture. That's in Amos 9, where it says, as if a man did flee from a bear, flee from a lion, and a bear met him. You made it to your house and you lean your hand on the wall, and the serpent bites you. So no one gets away, man. No one escapes the judgment of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. You see? Verse 7, therefore saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And therefore saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. All right, so all this is being done for the controversy of Zion, to free the Lord's chosen people, the 12 tribes of Israel, and to judge these nations. Okay, because again, what's going on? There's a transfer of rulership happening. Okay, This current world, the time of the Gentiles, is ending. It's at an end. This is why all this chaos is going on. You seeing these certain plagues pop up and wild weather and all these different things, man. All this is a manifestation of the end. Reading 2nd Ezra 9:1, for all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end. And the end is manifested. Manifest through what? The signs of the times. Okay, that's how we can tell that the end is close. Okay, because we see all these things happening within the earth, and from that we have a marker to know where we at. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this lesson right here. Hopefully it was edifying through the Ruach HaKodesh. In closing, call Halal, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh. And until next time, Lord willing, Shalom unto the elect.